Hey everybody, and welcome back. Sorry, the camera's not the best right now. There we go, light's pretty bright. There we go. Now I'm not super Seamus White. Welcome back to the channel. Hopefully you're enjoying the videos. One thing that someone did bring up to me on my Instagram was how I decide on what custom figure to get next. And so basically I'm just going to tell you how it is. I have compiled a list of 70 action figures from Ruthless Aggression, Deluxe Aggression, Bone Crunching Action, TNA, NWA Marvel figures, even Jakks TNA figures. And I basically just do, or not necessarily a random drawing, I almost do like a battle royal using a single dice. I just go through the list of people. If I had the figures here with me, which are, those ones are all usually at my other house, I will sometimes set them up for fun, just do a giant battle royal, and then I just kind of roll a dice. And if it's Mark Jindrak's turn and I roll the dice and he gets a 1, just happened to be a 1 this time, then he's out the rumble, and the last one winning standing is the one I purchase. So I usually just do it like that. I just randomize it because I've got so many cool ideas for people and whatnot that unless it's like something I really feel like I need for a certain purpose, I usually just roll a dice and throw $70 to the customizer to start working on it. When he sends me the finished product, I send the rest of the money, and I just wait for it to arrive. Sometimes I'm 4, 5, 6 in before he gets done with all of them, and that's fine. I can wait a little bit. I'm not picky. I trust the guy, and of course, while I'm doing this, if I'm always checking eBay, I'm always checking Mercari. If I find other people that were on my list, and I'm like, hey, it's posable, it's playable, and it's not nearly as much. Or even if it is, I just do the buy in 4 and I throw it on the cart, and boom, I ain't got to worry about finding a Jamie Noble anymore, so to speak. In fact, I found him as James Gibson, which is his Ring of Honor world title look, and I was like, that's fine. It's even cheaper than getting a fully customized one. I do try to help the customizers who do work with me to try to build a portfolio a little bit. In fact, I noticed in one of the situations, one of the customizers doesn't have a Vito. I think they have Nathan Jones, but they didn't have Vito, and they didn't have Reno, and they didn't have Al Snow. So I thought about it, and I threw Vito and Al Snow into the roster here, and if they win, I also said, hey, do you mind making an Al Snow? I never sit there and expect them to, bend over backwards trying to make something they're not comfortable with. We sit down, we formulate, we talk, and if they feel like they can do a good Al Snow or they want to go to the challenge, point example, I recently I thought about having an Elite Perry Saturn created, and that's a lot of tattoo work, and so he kind of was dreading building that right now. I said, okay, well, he's going to happen eventually, but that's fine. If you got tons of orders right now, you don't feel like you're up for the task, let's make something simpler. So I think we agreed on a Shannon Moore figure, which involves some tattoo work, but it's also from his Mattitude follower MFer days and whatnot, not the punk rock, whatever poser gimmick he had going on. So that's how I pick stuff. Again, if I find stuff, or if I have the parts myself and I just need a paint job, I might send away a figure and be like, hey, for instance, I had a custom Lex Luger figure built. And then I realized he doesn't really fit in really well with the new gen look because it's the black trunks and the white boots. So instead, I went and found one of those through a different customizer, and I decided to instead of using that Luger for anything else, I was like, hey, can you take and make this Luger into a Lance Cade Ultimate? And so he's like, yeah, I can paint that, no problem. I'll find a better head for it, obviously, because we're not using Lex Luger head. And so I'm waiting to see that when it comes back. He hasn't sent me pictures of that yet. But I'm always checking. In fact, I just found another Chris Benoit Ultimate figure. I was originally going to switch those two. If you saw the video, I was going to switch those two. Although I found one that literally had the same exact look as the one that was damaged a little bit. Way better pristine condition. Didn't even have a cracked torso. Fully painted. Fully looked great. So instead, I just opted to throw the custom Elite figure online, which he sold instantly. So I'm okay with that because that's pretty much what I paid for him. I'm not doing this to make tons of money, but if I can trade a figure towards something else, that pays for 1 or 2 more people to start being made. So I'm all for that. And then the other Benoit I'll throw online as well. Not happy with what I paid for it. I felt like I definitely did not get my money's worth on that one. It wasn't by my normal customizer, it was just a random eBay seller, I should say. So I'll probably turn around and put it on Mercari for 3/4 of what I paid for it. Try to maybe help somebody out a little bit, help myself get some of my money back. But those are risks you take with life. When you take with customs, is unless you know all the good custom players. And I'm not saying that there are not good other custom players out there. I said the two I have found work fine for me. They may not work for you, or they may not be out of your price range. Their turnaround rates really well, especially the two I work with. Like I said, I'm not waiting there for months and months and months. Whereas these professional companies that are making figures, you give them your money and you're sitting there for almost a year hoping it shows up, not getting canceled like the Impact figures did. But like I said, I found a Moose randomly. No one's built an Eddie Edwards yet, but he's also on my list. In fact, I just remembered him. I'll put him on the list. So I've got 71 people on there, and it'll be dependent on if who wins from my like randomizing kind of thing. Since I decided I've got pretty much the essential people I want to build right now, but I also have more funds available, and I still plan to make all these figures anyway, or have these figures made for me anyway. So what I'll do is I'm just going to roll the dice, see who wins, and then if it's somebody that they're not comfortable with right now, or they still don't feel like they have the time, they don't want to invest in doing something like that, because I understand sometimes it gets boring doing the same, people over and over again, and you want to build your portfolio, especially for customizers. So getting people who may not, be looked at all the time. Like I said, I didn't see an Al Snow under there, I didn't see a Vito under there. So if I can help expand his skills and expand his rosters and whatnot, people might go, oh hey, I remember Vito. I didn't. I remember playing him in the old SmackDown game or something like that. Or I remember Al Snow. I know we have an Al Snow something retro coming out here in the future, but I collect posable, displayable. So basically, at this point, I'm going elite or above. That means I may have to let go of Figure Toy Company. I plan to let them go anyway because stuff's starting to chip and break and come really messed up. Not knocking them, just they're great for display inside the box. They're not great for posing. They're not great for letting loose. Taking the entrance gear off, you got the marks and whatnot. So, but Ultimates, Elites, AEW of course as well. The Supremes I'm still good with, and even the new basic articulation. It syncs up perfectly with the boss fight figures. In fact, I just ordered Ultimo Dragon again. I have a whole set still out there somewhere on a boat somewhere. So I saw Big Bad Toy Store had one. I was like, you know what, I'll buy one now. I won't buy the whole set right now. I'll buy him at least. I was going to try to answer that question, do they scale them up a little bit? I've seen the picture comparisons. Someone posted that right after I said I was going to do it, so whatever. I was going to do it, but someone did it for me. That's fine. I still wanted Ultimo Dragon, and if my other one shows up, he'll probably hang on the wall. I'll probably put him up on the wall because, I looked at the picture. The texture looks really cool. Ultimo Dragon, not the biggest wrestling star or whatnot, but I did like the Ultimo Dragon. I liked his look. I liked his gimmick. When I did watch WCW when I was a kid, I did enjoy hearing or seeing, it was a unique character. No offense to Rey Mysterio. I noticed him, but I didn't notice him as much as Ultimo Dragon because the whole setup looked really cool. The gold, the black, whatever it may be. But I digress. That's how I pick my customs. I do a random drawing. I negotiate with the customizer. I see what they're really passionate about wanting to build. Because if they're really passionate about it, they're really to make it, they're going to do their best they can to try to present it. If they're kind of like, oh, God, I got to do this figure, whatever, fine. I don't want that. I want them to always feel excited. Like I'm going to be excited to get the figure, to review the figure, to enjoy the figure, to pose the figure. So, till next time.